My name is Danielle Monroe, and if you had told me 5 years ago that a decision made in confusion and fear would lead me to clarity and freedom, I wouldn't have believed you. I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a home that prized stability above all else. We didn't chase dreams, we made plans, safe ones, solid ones. So when I found myself 29, single, and sandwiched between two younger sisters already married with kids, I felt like I was failing the blueprint. That's when I reconnected with Ethan Carter. He had been the kind of guy my parents liked. Smart, clean cut, ran his own tech firm, wore button downs even on weekends. We dated for 3 months in college before drifting apart. When we crossed paths at a local charity event, he was as polished as ever. 2 months later, we were engaged. I said yes for all the wrong reasons: timing, pressure, fear of being alone. I didn't question the absence of butterflies, the lack of fire. I just told myself, this is what security looks like. But I ignored the growing feeling that something didn't fit, especially every time I spoke to Aaron, Ethan's older brother. Aaron was the opposite of Ethan in every visible way. A public high school teacher with ink-stained fingers and worn-out sneakers. He read poetry, built wooden furniture on weekends, and somehow remembered every conversation we'd ever had. From the start, he kept his distance, respectful, quiet. But every time we crossed paths, family dinners, holidays, wedding planning meetings, I caught glimpses of something else in his eyes. Not longing, not love, understanding. As if he saw the version of me I was trying to mute. The artist, the dreamer, the person who once wanted to open her own design studio, not live inside a spreadsheet of expectations. The wedding came and went. White dress, perfect flowers, polite smiles. I played the role beautifully. But inside, I knew I had walked into a life that wasn't mine. At first, I buried the doubts, built routines, bought furniture, hosted brunches. But slowly, my voice disappeared. Ethan and I didn't fight. We just didn't talk about anything that mattered. He saw life as a series of checkboxes: savings, real estate, networking. I saw life as a canvas waiting for color. He didn't ask about my dreams. He didn't even know them. But Aaron did. One afternoon, I stopped by the Carter family home to return a casserole dish. Only Aaron was there. He was building a bookshelf on the back porch, covered in sawdust, music playing low. He looked up and smiled. I don't know what came over me, but I sat down and said, "Do you ever think some people just marry because they're scared of missing the moment?" He paused, then said, "I think sometimes people confuse safety with love." The words landed like a lightning bolt. Over the next year, my life unraveled, but not in the way people think. I didn't cheat, I didn't leave overnight, but I started painting again, started journaling, started speaking up when something felt off. And slowly, Ethan and I both realized we weren't partners. We were polite strangers in a well-decorated house. When I finally asked for a divorce, he didn't yell. He didn't argue. He just said, "I think we both knew this wasn't forever." After the papers were signed, I moved into a small apartment across town. Aaron didn't call, didn't text, didn't overstep. But 3 months later, he invited me to a book fair his students were hosting. We walked among tables of hand-bound journals and student poems. At one point, he turned to me and said, "You look like yourself again." I smiled. "Feels good?" We didn't rush. It wasn't a rebound. It wasn't a forbidden story. It was two people who had always seen each other clearly, finally allowed to speak without pretending. Aaron never tried to complete me. He just reminded me I didn't need to shrink. It's been 2 years. I run my own boutique design studio now. Aaron still teaches, still builds shelves, still brings me coffee on Sundays with doodles drawn on the cup. We don't live in a magazine-worthy house. We live in a home, one filled with color, with music, with honesty.